Awesome. Okay, so hey everybody, it's so nice to have you join for today's session. Well, first and foremost, congratulations on your recent acceptance into Teachers College. I know for some of you, this has been a long journey, so congratulations. We have officially made it through the application process and are now transitioning on to enrollments. My name is Sam Lewis. I'm one of the assistant directors in the Office of Admissions. I also serve as the liaison for our Health and Behavior Studies departments. And so I'm so happy to see some familiar names on the screen, some folks who I may have assisted with one-on-one or via email. So wonderful to see that so many of you are now at this point in the enrollment process. So with that being said, the goal of today's session is to hopefully assist in making this transition to being a TC student seamless. And especially for our underrepresented students, it's especially important to highlight the various resources and offices available on our campus that provide support. And so today we have 5 TC representatives here representing an office on our campus that hosts a variety of different resources, events, initiatives, programs, et cetera, to support our students. And so I'll go ahead and allow each of them to introduce themselves in their office and their titles, starting with our financial aid representative, Christian Ramirez.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christian Ramirez. I am the financial aid assistant director here. I've been at TC for close to 2 years right now.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sabine Sheikh. I'm the Associate Director of Advisement and Programming over at TC Next. And I've been here for I'm hitting my 6-month mark.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Janice Robinson. I'm Vice President for Diversity and Community Affairs. I'm Associate Professor of Higher Education, and I am your TC Title IX Coordinator, and I am a proud TC alumna, and I've been here 21 years.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Marissa Sala. I'm the Director of the Office of Access and Services for Individuals with Disabilities, or OASID, and I just hit my 2-year mark at TC.
Hi, everybody. My name is Denise Bonetta. I'm the Director of Graduate Student Life and Development, and I am just coming up on 2 years this September.
Awesome. Thanks to our wonderful representatives. So just to touch on a few of our agenda items, in just a few moments, we will hop into the office spotlights where each of our representatives will talk a bit more in depth about their offices and their resources. And then we will leave time in the end for questions. So hold off on your questions, or if you do want to go ahead and leave them, just know that in the end, we will have time where we try to get to each of them. So before hopping into our office spotlight, something that I love to do is to just get a feel for who's watching us today. So go ahead, utilize the Q&A function. So below on your screens, you should have a Q&A function or feature. Go ahead and leave us your name, where you're from, in the TC program that you've been accepted into. It's always fun to just get to know the crowd, so I'll give you a few minutes to leave us your names, your programs, and where you're from. Awesome. I know we always have some local folks, folks from right down the street, which is so great. We have someone from New Jersey, in the School of Psych. This is somebody that I've also assisted with, so familiar names here. Again, some more local folks from Brooklyn, some folks from Westchester. Mental health counseling is a program, our TESOL program, our cognitive sciences and education program. We have some international students, which is amazing since our international students make up for so much of our student body population. Elementary inclusive education. Awesome. So I think this is just truly indicative of the fact that we truly have representation from all corners of the world coming in, studying a variety of things. So as we move through today's session, I hope that each of you can pull some helpful information to help you along your TC journey. Keep in mind, today's session will be recorded. So if there is anything that we go over, any information that you want to review, when it comes up for you, know that you can access this recording in your Admitted Student Pathway portal. Also, for anyone who would like to view the captions for this session, you can access captioning by clicking the View Full Transcript transcript option. And so that feature should be there for you. Awesome. So I will go ahead and hand it over to you, Christian, who will be our first representative today.
Thank you so much, Pam. Hi, everyone, for joining us today. So I'm pretty much going to discuss a brief overview of financial aid. Like Sam said, you have enough time at the end of the presentation to ask any questions you might want. If there's more personal questions, just try to reach out to your financial aid liaison. We could schedule a one-on-one meeting to go over your account. But let's just get into this now. First thing I want to talk about is the application process. So when you're in the process of submitting your admissions application, the first process you have to take is making sure that you check off the box that says to be considered for a scholarship. If you don't check that box off, unfortunately, you're not going to be awarded a scholarship. There is an application you could financial aid office. It's a paper application that you'll submit, and then you just send that over to us when you can. And once we receive that, we could update that. But if you already checked that box off that you want to be considered for a scholarship, then you're on the right track. Then the next application you will be completing is a FAFSA application. Now, this application is on studentaid.gov. If you're coming in for the fall semester, you'll be completing the 2022-2023 application. Once we receive it, we'll generate a financial aid award package for you. And I'll go over some of the awards that you'll most likely see on this package. But that's pretty much how you receive a financial aid award package here at Teachers College. Now, there are a few types of aid that we do offer here at Teachers College: institutional aid, student employment, student loans, and external scholarships. So to start off, in order to be eligible first, you have to check off that box on your admissions application, letting us know that you want to be considered for scholarship or any other type of institutional aid. We do have special scholarships listed on our webpage. Sorry about that. Some are new year scholarships, city year, posse, fellow. Haven't done so already, just visit our webpage. Under the types of aid link on the right-hand side, you'll see where it says special scholarships and awards. You just click on that. It has its own separate applications and its own deadlines. So if you haven't done so, you could view the upcoming scholarships that we do have. And if the deadline hasn't passed, you could actually submit your application. And another way to get additional aid is by going through an appeal process. So if you already got a scholarship award package and you're not happy, or not to say that you're not happy, but if you're trying to get more scholarships for funding because you're in a financial situation, you really want to come to Teachers College, reach out to your financial aid liaison. We could definitely help you out with that. It's not guaranteed, but it is a route that you could take to securing more financial aid. You just have to complete a scholarship appeal form. Once you complete it, you can send it back to the financial aid office. Financial aid liaison will send it off to the appeals committee to review. And that's one way to see if you could get more additional aid. Another way is what we like to tell students is reaching out to your program directly. Each program has its own allocation of funding that you could pretty much reach out to them, letting them know your situation. And since they have their own allocation of funding, additional funding for the upcoming academic year. Then you do have other ways of securing aid to cover your tuition, such as student employment. There are two types of student employment here at Teachers College. We have federal work study and assistantships. In order to be eligible for federal work study, you have to complete the FAFSA application. Once you complete the application, there's a section on that application that it states that if you want to be considered for work study, if you check that off, then we'll try to package you if you're eligible for it. If you are eligible for it, that's great. You can start actually looking on to the human resources by viewing the jobs that are posted on there currently. You might not see a lot, but there are a few out there. When we get closer to the fall semester, you'll see a lot more popping up. So you could start applying to the ones that you actually are interested in. The way Work Study works is that once you find a job that you're interested in, you submit your application, and it's just like any other job. If you get called for an interview, you have that interview, and if they like you and they want to hire you, then you just have to fill some paperwork out with the financial aid office, and then you can start your job in the fall semester. The maximum hours you could work per week is currently 20 hours per week, and you'll get a paycheck pretty much every 2 weeks, just like any other job. It's not going to go towards your tuition. This is going to go directly to you. You get to do whatever you want with the fund. So that is one way of securing student employment. The other is assistantships. This is also posted on the Human Resources webpage under careers, student employment. With assistantships, you have research assistantships, teaching assistantships, administrative fellows. Those are a bunch of different positions that you could start applying for as well. Most jobs do offer salary and tuition points. Is just another word for scholarships. You have the salary ranges anywhere from like $3,000 to $9,000 per semester, and then it also comes with 3 tuition points, which covers a 3 credit course. The requirements for that is you just need to be enrolled in a minimum of 5 credits, and that's pretty much it. Anyone can apply for it, international students. So there's no limitations on that. Just with Work Study, you have to actually be eligible to complete the FAFSA application, but with assistantships, anyone could apply for it. The next topic is student loans. Now, if you're going through the federal government, you want to complete the FAFSA application so you could be eligible for 2 types of loans. One is the unsubsidized loan, and the other is the Graduate Plus loan. The unsubsidized loan is offered at $20,500 for the year. The great thing about that is there's no credit check required or application. It's automatically approved to you if you want to accept the loan. All you have to do is go on your portal and accept it and complete some paperwork. Now with the Graduate Plus loan, unfortunately that you have to apply for that. That is a credit-based loan, so they will run your credit score. And if you're approved, great, then you just have to fill out additional paperwork. If not, if you're denied for any reason, you can always seek a co-signer or appeal the decision. So you do have options. If you are international students, unfortunately, this is not going to be an option for you, but you could also seek out private student loans. Most likely with private student loans, they can ask you for an endorser, and that endorser likely has to be a United States citizen. So just keep that in mind as well. Unless you find a private loan in your home country, you can do that as well. Not directly linked to Columbia University or Teachers College, we do post resources on our webpage that you can start looking. It's pretty much up to the student to do most of the legwork. I do with the links. You just have to go on and start applying. If you are approved or accepted for a scholarship, they'll just send that information to us, and then we'll pretty much post it on your account. Most of the information that we give out, any updates regarding financial aid, is through email. And if you have any concerns regarding your financial aid package, you can always contact us. Our contact information is it was on the previous page, but you can also reach out to your financial aid liaison. On the next following page, this is the list of the liaisons here at Teachers College. We have Joanne, Rachel, Alyssa, and myself. So if you find your program here, I just give it probably a minute so you could just jot down this information. If you want to set up an appointment or just like a one-on-one Zoom session, you could definitely do that. Just reach out to us via email and we can set that up for you. And I'm pretty sure you probably have questions regarding financial aid.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Christian. Again, we will leave time in the end to answer any of your questions. And if we don't get to any of your questions today, hopefully you've jotted down those liaisons or the important contact information that you'll see in the following presentations, you'll be able to reach out to us separately. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and turn it over to our TC Next representative, who will talk a little bit about their office.
Thank you so much, Sam. So I do want to preface that I do have to hop off this call. So if anybody has any questions, I will put my email address into the chat box. So hopefully, for everybody that does have questions, feel free to reach out to me and I can answer any specific questions for you all. So TC Next is our Teachers College Career Center. So we empower students and alumni by providing the skills, the resources, and opportunities for you all to plan and navigate your career pathways. And we want that to start from the moment that you are enrolled and a student here on day one, throughout your entire journey at Teachers College, as well as when you are an alumni. So yes, we do service alumni. So some of the things that we do to support you all are that you're able to meet one-on-one with a career coach in our office. So our office has two umbrellas. One is our employer relations and one is our advisement and programming. Underneath our advisement and programming umbrella, we have career coaches that can work with you on career exploration, career document reviews, such as resumes, CVs, and cover letters, looking for opportunities, doing some mock interviews. And for those of you that are master's students that might want to apply for doctoral programs, we can also support you with that. And then we also have a whole host of other resources in our office. So we do networking events with alumni. We work a lot with academic departments to host networking events, as well as student clubs and organizations. We have career fairs. Our spring education career fair and colloquium is actually this week, which is why I have to jump off, because our education colloquium is today in preparation for students to be ready for our spring education career fair. So we do 2 career fairs, a academic year. The one in the fall is for all other majors that are not education related. And then in the spring is our education career fair. So we like to make sure that we're following recruitment trends. And as we all know that this is the time where most education organizations and schools and school districts are hiring. We did also this past February do a joint graduate career fair with all the graduate schools in Columbia. So we really do love to partner with other offices, and not only within Teachers College, but also within Columbia as a whole. And that career fair was amazing because a lot of the students that ended up going were Teachers College students. So definitely check out all of the events that we do. We also do employer, networking events, as I mentioned, as well as alumni networking events. We support you with on-campus student jobs, right? So if you're not sure how to apply, where to apply, your resumes, your cover letters, where to look for positions, we can totally help with that. We have an event tomorrow that is part of Graduate Student Appreciation Week, which is headshots and hors d'oeuvres. So we're incorporating headshots and other, forms of resources within our resources as you all kind of tell us, what is it that you all need? And that's where that event came from. We also host a whole lot of TC Next workshops on how to utilize LinkedIn, how to network, how to negotiate your salary, how to really think through job search, and how to formulate resume bullet points, writing your personal statement, and more. We also have a whole host of online resources. Going Global is one in which you can look for career guides in all global cities and international areas. Going Global is also really great for international students that are looking for companies that have sponsored H-1B visas, or you're looking for visa information in different countries. We have Imagine PhD, which is a tool for PhD candidates to take a look at in regards to planning their own career within the humanities and social sciences. We have a whole host of handouts that can support you through really workshopping all of your documents and your interviews. We have video resources both on our website as well as our Canvas course. So I want you all to think of our Canvas course kind of like a career flex. Technically, I'm not allowed to use that because Netflix trademark, but it's kind of like on-demand videos, right? So all of our online resources, we want those to be resources that you all are utilizing when, our office may not be open, during the weekend or holidays, and you're like, it's 2 a.m. and I don't know how to update my resume. We want to really hope that you all have the online resources to support you in really focusing on what you need until you can connect with us Monday through Friday. So those are all of our resources and the things that we do. And so please let us know how we can support. So as you can see, these are some important contacts. We have staff members in our office that are ready to meet with you one-on-one. I also want to point out that we also do drop-ins and quick questions that are run by our career peers, which are students that are trained in supporting you with your career documents and answering any questions about TC Next. So in addition to our staff members, we also have career peers that do drop-ins and quick questions. So again, I left my email address in the chat box. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. We really want you all to start thinking about your career now and what your degree at TC looks like in regards to your career path. So connect with us, look at all of our resources now. As accepted admitted students, congratulations. And once you are enrolled, we are so happy and willing to work with you all to really put your career paths into fruition. Thank you so much, Sam.
Well, good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, wherever you may be. Once again, I'm Janice Robinson, and our job is to lead the Office of Diversity and Community Affairs. The job is to lead the college's efforts in community, diversity, civility, equity, anti-discrimination. And our charge from the trustees has been to work with everyone at the college. That's faculty and students and staff, including our 3 unions that we have here. And our philosophy really is that one office can't do this work. Everyone at the college has something to contribute, and we shape our experiences and our activities and our educational sessions based on the fact that everyone, no matter who you are, has something to contribute. And we support the college's diversity mission in a number of ways. One, by creating programmatic opportunities and grant opportunities, and I'll talk about that briefly in a second, by really ensuring that diversity, equity, inclusion is embedded in the fabric of the institution. And so we're very engaged with all corners of the college. We want to make sure that the college is in compliance with all the city and state and federal regulations regarding discrimination, gender-based misconduct and harassment. And we try to implement our policies that we have. Lots of institutions, of course, have lots and lots of policies, but we really think about what they are and how to implement them and promote a culture of civility and community at the college. Next. Very quickly, programmatic opportunities. So we have some competitive grants and we have some non-competitive grants. So we have the Vice President's Grant for Student Research and Diversity. It's really there to be able to provide students with a bit of money, $3,000 if you are awarded, in order to be able to pursue your research. So you can spend that money flying to another country to do your research. It's really there to help support your work if your efforts are in diversity. And we think about diversity at this college in really broad and deep ways. We have another competitive grant. It's called the Vice President's Grant for Diversity and Community Initiatives Grant. We give up to $1,000. We want any and everybody who has an idea that touches on educating the college around diversity and community initiatives to participate. So we get grants from students, we get grants from faculty, from staff, and we also have a grant called the Student Organization Events Sustainable Grant. And that is, there are a series of different student organizations that have been having programs that have just been wonderful quality programs through numerous years. And we want to make sure that that work continues and they get funding each year. And that way it makes room for other kinds of efforts that new efforts that people might have. If you don't make those competitive grants, we have something called the Vice President's Independent Grant for Diversity and Community Affairs. What that really is you come in January and you say, Janice, I just thought of a new idea, or I've just thought about a book talk. Do you have any funds that would help us? And so we do that. And we have a Elaine Brantley Award for community and civility. It's our highest award at the college. For those, it's not an employment award. It's for those who work above and beyond their jobs at the college, leading in these ways. And we have this big festive community cook-off in June where students and staff, it's a taste-off really, come and share their food from their backgrounds, and there's a little judge-off, for this cook-off. Next, please. With my Title IX coordinator hat on, I, as you know, am the person who is responsible to provide support and resources and response for those who are, whether it's students, staff, or faculty, who are experiencing either sexual assault, sexual harassment, gender harassment, domestic violence, dating violence, stalking, and sexual exploitation. Those conducts are all part of our Columbia University Teachers College Barnard gender-based misconduct policy and procedure for students. We provide a variety of different kinds of accommodations and support, including academic and housing and workplace accommodations. There are informal and formal process resolutions, as well as other measures such as no contact orders. You need to know that Title IX supports pregnant and parenting students. And so if you are a pregnant or parenting student and you have concerns or you need accommodations, just reach out to us and we'll be pleased to help you. And very quickly, I just want to bring up that there's a difference between confidential and non-confidential. Often people get that mixed up. Their confidential resources in New York mean that if you're confidential by law, if you decide to share your experience with the ombuds, the Teachers College Ombuds is a neutral office to bring concerns, and you share that you've had a gender-based misconduct issue, he is not able to share that with us because it's confidential by law. It's a place where you can go and get thoughts, advice, guidance about what to do. The only way in which you could report would be if you say you're going to do harm to yourself or others. Columbia University has the Sexual Violence Response Center. It's, I think, been here since 26 or 27 years. It is the only sexual violence response center on a college campus in the state of New York. And it's not just for the college community. We serve the Harlem community as well. That is confidential by law. So is our CU counseling and psychological services, our medical services, and of course the various clergy in the university chaplain's office. So all of those folk will not report any of your information if you seek help from them, and it's a place to go to get the kind of guidance that you may need. Next, please. But everybody else at Teachers College is confidential. I mean, it's not confidential. Everyone else at the college is not confidential. That's public safety, your faculty and staff, obviously the Title IX coordinator, me, the residential life staff. And we require that all of these individuals, if you report to them, they are required to report to me. So I just wanted to remind you that if you go to a faculty member and say, can I speak to you confidentially? I want to talk to you about a sexual harassment matter that I experienced, they are going to be required to reach out to me as well. Our office also has jurisdiction over discrimination and harassment. Really, it's jurisdiction over microaggressions, bias, discrimination and harassment. We really try to address these matters early on. We don't sweep things under the rug, but we don't want to blow up people's lives. But we really believe that if you are having experiences, bring them forward, and we will work with you to get the conduct to stop and to address the matters in a way that's helpful for you. You can contact the Vice Provost for Student Affairs. You can contact my office. You can contact the Ombuds office. We really have a best practices at the college in terms of your being able to reach out. If you don't feel comfortable coming to my office, there are other offices and places to go, but the idea is to really help you address the issues sooner rather than later. Next, please. We have disability resources, and you're going to hear from our director of OASID next. But I just wanted to mention that that office ultimately reports up through my office, and I report to the president of the college. Here is our staff. We're a small group, but we do all of this work with tremendous help from our students, our student organizations, and GSLD, and everyone at the college. Thanks so much. I'll be here to take questions at the end.
Thank you, Janice, and hello everyone again. I'm happy to be here today, and congratulations on your acceptance to TC. I'm going to be speaking about the function of OASID at the college, our primary role, some information on what accommodations are, what you may be eligible for if you are a student with a disability, and some information about our registration process. So first, I'll just talk about the function of our office. We're here to support individuals with disabilities in creating an environment where they can participate fully and equitably in the community. So our office handles students, staff, and housing affiliates accommodations, as well as visitors. So that means that our accommodations extend to quite a few populations at the college, as well as any part of TC that you are engaging with. So that is your academic coursework, events, activities, on-campus employment, and also external internships. So some of our primary roles include providing reasonable accommodations for individuals with disabilities, which I will explain more about a little bit later. Next, we would remove physical and attitudinal barriers that individuals may experience while engaging at TC. Next is to facilitate participation in college activities. Like I just mentioned, we also provide access and work to improve accessibility for all individuals with disabilities and those without to participate in college events and activities. And lastly, to advocate for the rights of individuals with disabilities. So what are accommodations, you might be asking yourself? So accommodations, if you are a student that has a disability, you may be eligible for adjustments to tasks, the environment, or to way things are usually done. So this is not a change of your course. It is not a change of a specific job that you might have, but it's an adjustment. It's a change to the way things are done so that a barrier that a disability creates is removed. So this is developed on a really individualized basis based on a student's documentation, their experience, what their barriers might be. And we work together with faculty members, supervisors, and other stakeholders to ensure that those accommodations are implemented. An important thing to remember about accommodations is they do not circumvent any essential elements of a course or a requirement. So for example, if you need to physically handle something in a course, where a lab, for example, there is not a way to not do that requirement, right? There may be an accommodation for how you can do it a bit differently to remove your disability barrier, but you do need to meet all the requirements of your program or a job. Some common accommodations that I have listed here are note-taking, sign language interpreters, communication, real-time translation or CART, alternative format materials, testing accommodations, and adaptive technology. So how do you register for accommodations? So first thing you do would be to submit our registration form. I'm going to put our OASID website on the chat here so you all have it. And on the homepage, you'll see it has a view more student resources button where you'll see everything about the registration process. So definition of a disability, and it has a link to our registration form, which you'll fill out if you would like to register with our office. And when you submit that form, you'll also need to include clinical or medical documentation, which I will go into on the next slide. After you've done that, you'll meet with an OASID staff member to discuss your accommodations and how we will implement them, whether it's in your classwork, a place of employment, or otherwise. So documentation, like I said, it should be clinical or medical documentation from a licensed medical provider on their professional letterhead that includes the nature of the diagnosis, the assessment of the level of impact that disability has on your ability to function, professional recommendations from your doctor of what you might need, whether your condition is temporary or this is something that's permanent, and when you should be reassessed. And the reason we need all of this information is so we can get the most accurate picture of how your disability is impacting your ability to complete those essential elements of anything that you're engaging in at TC, and make the best determination for how we can support you and put those accommodations in place for what you need. And here I have some of our contact information. I have my email address, and we have other staff members at the office. The best way to reach us is at our email address, which is oacid@tc.columbia.edu. That's, like I said, the best way to reach us. Our phone number, that's our main line, is also listed there, along with our office location, which is Zanko 301. We encourage you to come and stop by as well. You can definitely send me a direct email or send an oacid@tc email if you have any questions about disability, accessibility, or anything related to registration. I'd be happy to discuss them with you. Even if you are unsure about whether or not you are eligible, we're still happy to have consultation to discuss what support services might look like for you at TC. So, thank you again, and I will be turning it over to my colleague, Denise Mineta.
Great. Thanks, Marissa. Hi, everybody. Like I mentioned before, my name is Denise Bonetta. I saw that somebody's from Queens, New York, so shout out to that person because I'm also from Queens. First and foremost, I actually just want to wish you a happy Graduate Student Appreciation Week. Some of you might be in graduate school right now and coming for your doctorate, or you're going to be graduate students, but this is the week that we celebrate graduate students. So I just wanted to start off with there. So my office, Graduate Student Life and Development, really focuses on the co-curricular experience of students and how we can connect students to resources in a community here at the college. We provide many out-of-class experiences, and then we also try to promote resources and bring you resources to really enhance your experience in the classroom as well. So I first wanted to start off by, so in our office, there's many things we do, and we are doing webinars with admissions throughout the summer. So I encourage you to attend one of those. Today, I'm specifically going to be talking about how we support students from various identity groups and communities. So with that, I just wanted to start with our student organizations. We advise about just around 40 student organizations, and there's a range of student organizations from ones that are specifically connected to an academic program, a pre-professional interest, clubs that just focus on being social, like so we have a group of dancers, and then we do have student organizations that are connected to an identity. So here I've listed our student organizations that are specifically for identity groups. So you see the AAPI Student Circle, our African Studies Working Group, the Black Student Network, our Coalition of Latinx Scholars, Development in South Asia, Gagatsu, which is our new Japanese club, Queer TC, the Teachers College China Society, Teachers College Taiwanese Club, and like it says at the bottom, there are many, many more. I did include the acronym, so at TC, you'll hear a lot of students refer to CLS or BSN, so I wanted you to start getting familiar with those. Later in this slide deck, you're going to see our website, so if you go to our website, there's actually a list of all the student organizations and how to contact them. I always recommend students, if that's the community that you're looking for, find them on Instagram, follow them there, reach out to them on email. Our student leaders are so excited to hear from students and get more members. So you can get connected with them as early as you want, just to start learning about the community here at TC. During new student orientation, we'll actually provide you an opportunity to engage at an involvement fair. And that's where you can meet all of the student clubs and figure out which ones you want to get connected to. But again, you can get connected to them starting now. In our office, we really focus on two different pieces. So one is like community development of students. And so I listed out a few programs here that I'm going to talk about, or just areas. So we do host Taste of Harlem every year. And so what we do during that week of programming is we tend to highlight Black and Brown owned businesses in the local area of Harlem. And we plan outings for you to get to know Harlem. So this year we had a mix of both virtual and in-person events. We did walking tours of Harlem. We visited various museums. We went to a jazz club. We partnered with different restaurants to offer discounts to TC students that week. And then we did also a virtual tour of the Apollo Theater and Museo del Barrio. So it was just a really, really lovely week. Students are always looking forward to it, but we want to make sure in our office that our students feel connected to the community that we are in. In GSLD, we also advise Student Senate. So this is a really good advocacy student group on campus. They are the voice of students, and it is fully led by students. Student Senate does have a committee on that partners with ODCA, and it focuses on diversity and community affairs. So if that is a passion of yours, that's definitely a committee to get involved with. Our Student Senate meets every other week. They're meeting tonight, and they just really have a great presence on campus. They run elections at the beginning of the semester, so look out for that. GSLD specifically has a Student Life Ambassador program. We launched it this year, and it's been really successful. We have over 400 students registered and partnered with a Student Life Ambassador. So at the beginning of the year, you'll be invited to join one of their cohorts, and that just means you'll get an email from them every other week talking about things happening on campus around the local area. And then just planning informal meetups. So if you're somebody who really is looking for that community of students, we welcome you to connect with a Student Life Ambassador. And what we do at the beginning of the year is we actually have our Student Life Ambassadors send in a bio about them so that you can connect and opt in to be in one of the cohorts of a student that you feel connected to, whether it's their identity, their academic interests, their personal interests, just so that you feel you have that connection. We host every month, we host 2 president chats. So we really want to provide students the opportunity to get to know our president. Our president is really such a great person to be connected to. His own research, his dissertation was about immigrant restaurants in New York City. He is also notorious for reforming how community colleges operate to create a more equitable learning environment. So these are all conversations we get to have with the president and students during those chats. We also support our student parents. So we have a student parent coordinator in our office, and we do a lot of support with ODCA for that community. In academic engagement, just quickly, we host new student orientation. So you'll be hearing from us a lot in the summer. We do encourage you to check your TC email. We host the Graduate Writing Center that has free one-on-one appointments for students, writing groups for both master's and doctoral students, and various workshops. We do a lot of first gen initiatives. So we have a social, I think in 2 weeks, we're inviting faculty, staff, and students together. And then we're working closely with our convocation team to do a first gen celebration for all graduates. And then we also host a variety of resources and workshops for doctoral students. Just wanted to quickly say GSLD, my office, we send a weekly newsletter. And so we highlight not just the events that GSLD does, our student organizations do, but then we pull in all the events that are open to TC students on the CU campus. And so that's various groups, lectures, etc. So we really want to provide that opportunity to you. So that's how you'll find out about all the amazing opportunities that you have access to as a TC student. And then lastly, just where we're located, we're in the 528 building if you're ever on campus. Our emails, so before you enroll, you can email us at orientation@tc.edu, or you can email us at gsld@tc.edu. Either of them get connected to our team, and we try to respond within the day. And then I highly, highly encourage you to follow us on Instagram. We are very active, especially this week. But that's where we try to repost all the student organization events, and we really want to make sure that you know what's happening on campus. So as a new student, that's a great way to see the vibrant community that we have here. And last but not least, of course, is our website. That's it for me.
Awesome. Thank you again to our representatives. It was lovely hearing about all the resources that we have to offer, some of them that I didn't even know. So hopefully, again, there was some helpful information that you were able to pull, take what you need and leave what you don't. Again, the session has been recorded. So if there's something that does come up, I know we're at the very beginning of our enrollment process. So if this information proves handy for you in the following months, you can access this on your TC Pathways portal. So now we're going to go ahead and move in to some questions for our panelists. We do have some from students right now in the Q&A box, but again, go ahead and use the Q&A feature to submit any of your questions. A few of them that I want to go ahead and get out of the way. This is during Christian's presentation. We have someone who just wanted you to repeat where they would need to check or what box they would need to check for scholarships. If you can just reiterate that a little bit for the student who's asking.
Yeah, no worries. I see most of the questions are financial aid. So for this question, when you're filling out the admissions application, you may come across a question that states if you want to be considered for a scholarship, you're just going to pretty much click the yes box to that. If you didn't, don't worry. You can always fill out the paper application. Just reach out to your financial aid liaison to request that, and we'll send that over to you. So the next question is, how can we apply for external scholarship opportunities now that the application process is over? With external scholarships, again, we do post all the resources on our webpage. So if you on the right-hand side, you see types of aid, and then just scroll down to external funding. Those are going to list a whole bunch of resources you could use for external scholarship. This is pretty much the student has to do all the legwork applying for these scholarships, because it really doesn't have to do anything with Teachers College, since these are outside sources. So once you apply, hopefully they give you a call back with an answer.
Awesome. And just to give you a little break, Christian, in the financial aid round, we're just going to pose a general question to you all. So we've heard from each of you individually. We know, what your individual offices do, but like you mentioned, Janice, the goal of creating a sense of belonging for students isn't just a goal for one specific office. It's something that we want to try to achieve collaboratively. So can each of you kind of speak to the collaborative nature of the offices here at TC in terms of, creating a sense of belonging for students? Sorry, is there a specific event that you've worked on with another office, or something that you would like to highlight, or a resource or initiative that's something that you do in collaboration with another office? Is that something that you can speak to for us? And I'll go ahead and start it off with you, Janice.
So can I just jump right in? All right. So I just wanted to highlight among the many, many different programs and events that we have, and we really collaborate with just about all corners of the college. But I really want to give a shout out to Denise Bonetta and GSLD. We do a tremendous amount of work there with them and with Marissa's office, OASID. But I'm thinking about, Denise, our diversity doctoral education initiative that we do. And we like to think about our master's students as a cohort. And even though you're just getting in here, new master's students, we want you to think about whether or not doctoral education is something that you might be interested in. And so our offices collaborate to provide the kind of information and panels and real conversation with our faculty and others who have some inside tips about their experiences and also what you need to do and the timing of that. In addition, that's for master students. There's a parallel piece to it for our current doctoral students, so that for those who are already engaged in doctoral education, there are different kinds of panels about life after earning, your doctorate. Does it always have to be just in academia? What else can you do with it? Fellowships that you can get afterwards, the IRB process, which is Institutional Research Board for research that you're conducting with real folk. Anyway, I'm going to stop, but that's just one of many that we do together.
I can jump in really quickly. So I mentioned it's Graduate Student Appreciation Week. So how we approach that week is our office does quite a bit, but really we do a call out to all our colleagues. So Marissa is holding, a raffle for students. ODCA, Janice's office, is holding a film screening for students and also doing a book drive. So really our colleagues across the college are doing so much, including in the library. And you can see it all on Instagram. But essentially it's just all of our staff members just want to appreciate students. And I think you'll find that all the offices, and not just the offices, but we really do connect with our faculty members too, about how we can provide the best support to students at all times.
I guess I'll jump in as well, and kind of jumping off of what Janice and Denise mentioned is that our offices, the three of our offices, work very closely together in supporting the various initiatives. And I think the thread that OASID kind of hits when it comes to all of the offices at Teachers College is that consultation and support when it comes to accessibility and implementing accommodations for all of the types of events and outreach and groups and things that we've all been talking about. So by having those constant conversations and providing training information on how to make events accessible, informing those that are planning events on what steps they need to take to ensure an inclusive environment, an inclusive event. So that's how we try to connect with other offices across the college, not even just limited to those on this call today, to ensure that they have that information and that we're always providing it and updating them on best practices and things that they can do in the digital space, in the Zoom space, and really keeping inclusivity and accessibility in mind. And we also, like Denise had mentioned, we do partner on events and make sure that we are, included and engaged with our students at Teachers College and participating in things like TC Next had a panel about, all kinds of considerations when looking for employment and where does disability intersect with that. And so we came to speak about that. And so all the different areas where students might experience those things, and we try to make sure that we are part of those events, part of those conversations, and providing the guidance and support along the way.
Can I just jump back in? I just wanted to add to Marissa's point. All of our offices really try to think about cultural competencies in various ways, and it's always a work in progress, but it's something that we do together. And I think about OASID in particular right now because as we all come from different places and we think about the variety of cultural competencies that we have and want to improve upon, we're trying to make sure that our OASID office and the work there, in addition to the excellent work that they do for compliance, that how do we get the rest of the institution to think about our students with disabilities in ways that's not simply is not the right word, but not just about accommodations, which is really important that we do. But how do you get to think about that everyone here knows someone who has these needs? So just trying to get a variety of different competencies front and center in easy ways for us. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks so much. I think you hit it right on the head with that, Janice, is that this is something that we consider to be a goal of every sector here at the college. And so it's nice to hear about the collaborative nature of all of our offices. I do have a specific question for you, Marissa. So what are the ways that your office kind of advocates for students with disabilities, and not just, receiving, a request to do some type of accommodation? What are the other ways that you kind of advocate for those students?
That's a great question. I think the answer is twofold. I think there's an individual advocacy that happens and then a larger community advocacy that happens. So when it comes to an individual basis for those that are registered with us or come to us with disability-related needs, and they have experienced either lack of implementation of an accommodation or feeling that they've been potentially treated differently based on their disability, or have any access issues related to physically on campus or accessing any kind of event or activity at the college, we will then step in and speak to the relevant offices, counterparts around the college, and making sure that those voices are heard and that those necessary adjustments are made, that we're in compliance, right, with the ADA and other areas that we need to ensure that we're providing, making sure that student feels heard and that we're following those appropriate processes. So we will speak to faculty members, for example, about how to appropriately implement accommodations, just on a student example, and provide them with the training and information that they need to do that, and to ensure that they know that it is a requirement under the ADA that they do that. So that's on the individual side, and I'd say on the community level, and just keeping access and inclusivity and disability in mind throughout the college. So working with the ODCA as well to ensure that these initiatives that are being set throughout the college are including accessibility, and it's becoming part of the process rather than something that is done potentially at the end, right? So for example, planning events, what we're trying to work on is how do we advocate for all of our event planners to keep digital accessibility in mind, to ensure that they have ASL interpreters for very large scale events, that they have captioning for access for everyone. So these are inclusive practices that we're trying to really promote, so that we're advocating for those that might be engaging with an event or attending an internship or accessing their class on Canvas. How do we ensure that those things are happening on a universal level? and rather than something that we're having to react to. So we're really trying to have a proactive kind of advocacy for our students, and really thinking about any access issues, whether it's digitally, physically, attitudinally as well, and raising those issues as they come up.
Absolutely. All right. So now that we're heading towards the closing of our session, this is just a general question for each of you. And so I kind of want to pull your opinions. General advice. So now that most of these students are ready to enroll, what is a piece of advice that you can offer, or something given your realm of work that you can provide to ensure that a student is successful at TC? Within your role or outside of your role, what's a general piece of advice that you can provide to a student? And I'll go ahead and start it over with you, Denise, from GSLD.
Yeah, sure. What I tell students is, your time with us, you're going to be a TC alum one day. We always want you to stay committed with us. But while you're a student, really take advantage of everything that's offered to you, the clubs, the events, the opportunities to meet with people. I really encourage folks, take the time to do that 1 hour event, because you might build a network or community there that you didn't expect. And who knows where that connection will take you, right? So I really encourage you to do that. When we send you emails with opportunities, read through it, register for things, because we'd also just love to see you there. So that's my big advice. And then take advantage of New York City, explore it, love it, cherish it, nurture it, all those things.
And then Christian, do you want to hop in with any piece of advice?
Yeah, sure. Well, in terms of financial aid, in my realm, I believe that I think students should stay on top of everything early, try to get your applications in early on time. In the beginning of every academic year, we have a lot more funding to give out. So getting everything in advance will give you a better opportunity to secure that funding that you will need, whether it be scholarships or funding from your program. If you wait long enough, you might run out by the time you reach out to us. So yeah, that's the biggest advice I could give right now.
Thanks, Christian. And I'll go ahead and pass it over to you, Marissa.
Sure. I would say to not hesitate to ask questions, especially it relates to the kind of support you can receive. I think students sometimes ask a bit later in the experience. So, about kind of support, and to learn about that, so that when those challenges that might come up as you're navigating your experience at TC, you already have that information. So to reach out to our office, even if you're just not sure if you're eligible, if you qualify, or what kind of support various offices can give you, my advice would be, I know that all of the great people you see here on this call and beyond are open and willing and ready to talk to you about what kind of support, and really can individualize that support for you. So I just encourage to reach out early and to talk to us about how we can help.
Thanks, Marissa. And then lastly, Janice.
Well, I would say, take a deep breath. You've made it. You're part of us now. You're part of our community. So really take that in and enjoy it. I know there's lots to try to find out about, but that's the first thing. The second would be, once you settle into your academic program, you should really look for others. Denise talked about this. You should really try to find colleagues, not only within your program, but outside of your program, so that you don't just get sort of locked into just your program folk, who are wonderful, of course, but there's so much more out at the college. Number 3, don't moan and groan, but you really should read your emails, because, and I know that's kind of old school, but read your emails, because that's how we communicate. And there's so much that goes on. There's so many different kinds of events and activities. And sometimes it can seem overwhelming, but really do make some kind of habit of looking at them and trying to go to something that's outside of your own academic program, and then just enjoy yourself.
Awesome. Thank you again to our wonderful representatives. Again, information that even I haven't come across yet. So hopefully that same thing exists for our participants who showed up today. Take what you need, leave what you don't. Hopefully you were able to pull some really helpful information. And again, this information is going to be there for you. So if it comes to the fall and there's something that you maybe heard but didn't really quite grab, this recording will be there for you to review that information. And also, it doesn't end here, right? All of our contact information has been on the screen. Hopefully you took note of that. If there's anything that you need assistance with or have extra questions about, please reach out to us. We're here to assist you in this process, and we're here for the long run, right? Not just a good time, but for a long time. So kind of the opposite. But yeah, so today, this concludes our session for today. Thank you again to all of our panelists. It's been wonderful hearing from you. I have had a great time speaking with all of our participants. And if there was any questions that we didn't cover, again, reach out to us. And so I'm gonna go ahead and let you all go. Have a wonderful day, evening, morning, wherever you're from. Enjoy yourself and let us know if you have any questions. Bye.